Hey guys, it's Graham Judd again. As you can tell, I am not on shift today. I'm actually getting ready to go inside here, but wanted to make a quick video. I was talking to one of my friends and told her a little bit about what we do on the ambulance for a situation like a cardiac arrest. So I want to tell you about a call I ran not too long ago. And I've got my beautiful daughter in the back, so if you hear cooing and calling, that's her. But a little while ago, I ran a call for a guy who was having shortness of breath, and we responded to the scene, lights and sirens, and when we got there, sure enough, he was short of breath, and he was on the floor in between the wall and like a chest of drawers, and he was holding a breathing treatment in his hand, but he was having such a difficult time breathing that he couldn't even hold it up to his face. So we get in there, and I immediately put him on a breathing treatment, but I put a mask on so that he doesn't have to hold it. Now, we've got to get this gentleman up, and we've got to get him out of this house, and he's actually a pretty big guy. But the way he's sitting, we're not able to get behind him. We're not able to pick him up in front of him. When we do get him up, he's not able to keep his feet underneath. So it was rather complicated. We brought in a piece of equipment called a stair chair. It's actually a very narrow chair on 4 wheels that can navigate tight spaces. We put him in the stair chair, and we then take him off of the breathing treatment, and we go a little bit more advanced. We go with something called a CPAP. That stands for continuous positive air pressure. And what the CPAP does is it essentially forces air into the lungs of the person who's having trouble breathing. So when we get him outside and we get him onto our stretcher, he goes unresponsive. He is no longer breathing on his own. So we start to use what's known as a bag valve mask, a BVM. It's the item that you squeeze. That was my hand. It's the item that you squeeze that you've seen on TV, in the medical shows. And we start using that to help this person breathe. And that's really not substantial in this type of a situation. So I did what is known as an orotracheal intubation. I took a breathing tube and I put it down his throat, and I put it directly into his trachea, into his windpipe, so that he's able to breathe. Now, we are breathing for him when all of a sudden he goes into a complete cardiac arrest. He no longer has a heartbeat. So the EMT begins doing CPR compressions, and I immediately try to get an IV so that we can give him some cardiac medications to bring him back to life. Unfortunately, he doesn't have anywhere that I can do an IV. He's a big guy, and he doesn't have any veins. I can't see him, I can't feel him. He doesn't have a blood pressure. So there's nothing really for me to access as far as IV is concerned. So we've got this tool. It's known as an interosseous infusion. And what that is it's a drill. And I take a needle and I drill it into the tibia or the shin bone of this patient so that I've got a way to administer medications. I give him some epinephrine, and we continue doing CPR on this gentleman, and he regains his pulse. We then respond into the hospital, and we transfer care over to the doctors. This patient went from a difficulty breathing into a complete cardiac arrest where he had no heartbeat and he was not breathing, to being intubated and having an intraosseous infusion with medication administration in less than an hour. And we got his heartbeat back. And he walked out of the hospital alive. I say that to say this. We did all of that in less than an hour. I did all of that for less than $15. While I understand the need of the fast food workers to make money and support their families, I would submit to you that there's more value in the services of a paramedic and an EMT than there is value in a value meal in your time of crisis. God bless you guys. Have a great day.